Big Burb, Big Bad Burb.
Welcome to the Big Burb channel.
All right, so Rocky, you're moving a knob here on your batteries, but I don't know what you're doing. That thing did go right here. That thing right there did go right there. What is this you're doing?
That's a battery disconnect. So what that does is obviously disconnects the battery from the electrical components of anything on the Big Burb.
Okay, and you did it to that other one over there too.
Yeah, because it has two batteries. So if either battery will, charge the system. So since it has two batteries, you got to disconnect both to make it a true disconnect.
Yeah, I can see the other bolt on top of the battery there. So the batteries are completely disconnected from this right now.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. You want to start it up?
Yeah. You want to come around, or you want to stay right there?
Well, we'll stay up here. Continuous video. What he's doing now is demonstrating how even if we get a massive EMP that takes out vehicles, when it comes to the Big Burb, it's just not going to matter. Go ahead.
So in the cab, I have this engine stop right here. So in the previous video, I explained that this is a pull push, and what it is, it's connected to the fuel solenoid, or where the fuel solenoid was. I put a bracket in place of the fuel solenoid, and this pretty much in means there's fuel going in. I pull it out, and it'll choke the engine.
Awesome. So how would you quickly, to somebody who doesn't understand cars like you do, so for example, somebody like me, explain how you were able to start this vehicle with the batteries disconnected?
Well, I don't need the ignition or an electric starter to start it, so pretty much as long as the air tanks are full, I just need to push this button that releases the air, and it turns the cylinders over and gets the motor started.
So this is not an electric start at all, it's air compression.
Air compression solely. Let's not do it anymore, though.
Yeah, let's not make all my neighbors hate me.
Like mine do?
They hate you?
No, they think it's pretty cool. But I'm sure there's a couple out there that are, what the fuck?
I am very glad that the solar storms this weekend didn't make us need to use this thing full time. That would have been bad.
Yeah, but it would have been fun if it would.
It would have been fun in some ways, until the kids start asking about watching Netflix or something like that. That wouldn't be fun.
The endless tears of the kids.
The endless tears of kids and snowflakes. Warm out today.
Yeah, especially without an AC on. We can open your side vent up right here if you want.
Side vent, huh?
Old AC.
My grandpa called that Polish air conditioning.
Pretty much.
He was Polish, so he's allowed to say that. What the heck was that?
So, since I eliminated the computer on my transmission, the only thing my transmission was controlled by the computer was my overdrive and my lockup. And so what I did is I put it on a switch, and what it does is it pretty much just engages your neutral, and that way it tells the overdrive and the lockup to turn on, and it gives you that overdrive gear. So cool thing about the Big Burb, like I said, no electronics, right? So it's running without it. So pretty much the only way to kill the engine is just pulling this lever like I showed you, and it just cuts the fuel off like an old tractor.
That explains!
For those who have been keeping up here at the Big Burb channel or on my channel, Suspicious Observers, you know that the main concern here is a super EMP, the solar kill shot from the sun, taking out all electronics, which could include vehicles. How do you bug out then? The answer is an EMP-proof vehicle. With our magnetic field weakening in the ongoing magnetic pole shift of Earth, this risk is growing by the day. Since we last came to you with the video, there have been some updates on that front. We know that the largest magnetic anomaly yet, accelerating the pole shift and Earth vulnerability, happened in March of 2023. We just got that data published a few weeks ago. And it explains why modest solar activity caused record solar effects and plasma penetration just a month later. It explains why we broke the auroral records in 2023 without anything special from the sun. It's just our planet being weaker. And just this past weekend, we had the impossible aurora. A big solar event, sure, but not that big. Yet it drove the northern lights down to Florida, Texas, Arizona, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. That should not have happened without a solar event about 10 to 20 times bigger. Unless you remember that our planet is now more vulnerable to space weather. Every day this disaster vehicle we've got is becoming more and more necessary to have, just in case. So obviously it is an operating CME-proof vehicle. What are the things you're thinking about doing to this, or what could you do to this to make it an absolutely epic Mad Max the road disaster vehicle?
Well, the biggest things, I don't know if you guys remember seeing that draft I put together, that 3D model before I started, but you know, I definitely want to put some skid bars on here that helps you kind of get up on there, and then also if there's any rocks or anything that you're going over, you know, it slides you right off of that. Definitely want to put a big roof rack on here with some big lights. That's going to be a nice little accessory. I'm looking for an old school winch to throw on there, a nice old Warren. And you know, that's pretty much it, other than kind of going towards the back here. We have these barn doors, and let me open this up real quick. You can see all the room for activities.
Activities? That sounds fun.
And if you've been following the channel, you'll probably remember some of this stuff that I've talked about, but what we want to do is we want to get these and it's not pretty yet in here, but you can see all the room you have. What we want to do is put a bed slide back here and have a bed slide be able to retract, and then that way you can put multiple kind of items on it. We were talking about a turret, you know, we can do a little hoist lift station, you know, camping kit, put an extra third row seat for extra seating, things that just kind of detach and attach to it. And then obviously if we're going to leave it cantilevered out, we'll put a little locking mechanism just so it's not sliding back and forth. So if you have the turret out and you're shooting, you know, you can kind of be all out here and get your whole 180 degree.
Yeah, I mean, that applies to Mad Max or a zombie apocalypse, so.
Yeah. Another cool thing too, some people might not have noticed, but since I have 8-gallon air tanks.
For the air starter?
Yeah, for the air starter. So now I have an air connection for any kind of air tools or power tools. So I can just plug right into there and, you know, have a nail gun. I can pretty much have a working mobile site here for construction.
And remind me, there's a way, you know, because right now the main way to recharge the air tanks or get more air in them is through when the car is running. But you have a way to do it even if the air tanks are empty and all the power is out.
Yeah, so you can go like to Harbor Freight and get like a mechanical compressor, and it's pretty much just ran by a pulley, and you can pretty much put a belt on that and, you know, get one of your old school bicycle workout machines and just
human power.
Just do it by human power. Yeah, we also have a hand pump too that we can go down there, but that's going to take a lot of pumping and take a while, but it is doable.
Yeah. So even though there's nothing essentially electronic on here, I mean, there's still obviously some electronics, but nothing essential to actually drive the disaster vehicle.
No, there's no electronics needed. That's all accessories based. So obviously if you want your headlights and things like that, like I said, the batteries do run the compressors, but as long as the air tanks are full and you keep them full, and, you know, if you knew you had some solar activity like we had these last few days, you know, just make sure you just keep them full, and then you'll be able to start it. And then that's another reason why we have the battery disconnect. So when we you know, are letting it sit, you know, and anything hits it, it's not surging or, you know, messing anything up electronic wise and not ruining your batteries, you know, unless you have a giant EMP or CME, which, you know, if you're melting metal at that point, we're all just throwing sticks and stones.
Yeah. Einstein's idea of World War IV.
Big Burb, Big Bad